on in.
Good afternoon,
Ms.
sirs.
Good afternoon. Please take a seat, Ms.
Thank you.
Chhabra. Ms. Saloni Chhabra. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
Good. Briefly introduce yourself to the board.
Good afternoon, sirs. My name is Saloni Chhabra. I'm 24 years old. I was born and brought up in Gurugram, Haryana. I did my undergrad in economics from SRCC. While in college, I was actively involved in debating and social consulting. Post that, I've been preparing for the exam. I also take time to pursue my hobbies, which include strength training, Zumba training, and dog care.
Excellent. Thank you. Please.
Very good morning to you, Saloni ji. Do you like dogs in a general way or your own dog?
Sir, I like dogs in a general way.
Right. So is it a good business proposition today in India? Anything to do with dogs?
Yes, sir. In fact, the market for dog products is very much on a rise. Dog food alone is going to be about a 4,000 crore market in a few years, just how Singapore and other economies have a culture of having pets. So I think pet care products, including food, grooming products, and in general dog boarding, these are very good propositions if one has to invest or start a business at this stage.
And how do you look at so-called stray dogs? Some people say there are no stray dogs in India. They all belong to the society in some way or the other. But there are definitely dangers from dealing with certain kinds of dogs, right?
Yes, most definitely there are.
Yeah.
Sir, I think that it is our own failure in some sense that we have stray dogs. One is that we've been unable to actually materialize our spaying and neutering programs that the municipal corporations have undertaken and have been undertaking since a long time. Other than that, sir, it's the hypocrisy of people like me who have breed dogs at home and refuse to adopt stray dogs. So I think those are some of the issues because of which we have the stray dog menace. In order to control this menace, we need to undertake spaying and neutering programs by the municipal corporations. We need to promote the adoption of strays, and the feeders need to be much more responsible in terms of following Animal Welfare Board of India guidelines. They need to feed dogs in areas where the children do not frequent. So I think all of these measures can help us tackle the problem that we face due to strays.
People who buy dogs tend to go for certain breeds, right? Typically Labrador or a Golden Shepherd, right? But any indigenous breed, in fact, there is one state which is promoting the use of indigenous breed, which is very good for police functions.
Yes. Two of them actually.
Yeah. So would you know any such?
So I can't recall the name. I can recall there's a white dog which is a slightly tall dog that I can recall. One is the Gaddi breed. I'm not sure if it's very good for policing, but that's there. And even our Prime Minister also urged people to adopt. So I think awareness is key in this regard. If people are made more aware, at this point I love my dog to bits, but I also feel the guilt every time I see an Indie that I should have adopted an Indie. Back then I didn't have the awareness, but hopefully the next dog I will have will be an Indie. So I think there's been a transformation.
Have you heard of a Rajapalem breed?
Yes, sir, it's that breed.
Like perhaps,
yes, sir. Yes.
That is one in Rampur Hound.
Rampur Hound.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, welcome, Saloni. I'm coming again from your depths. Once he has touched the dog factor, now you are convener of the debating society.
Yes.
I give you a topic for debate. You speak 30 seconds in favor of the motion, 30 seconds against the motions. Use of smartphones should be banned for school students in the school.
Okay, sir. So as far as banning use of smartphones in schools is concerned, I think it should be banned because students have very low attention spans because of frequent use of smartphones. This is leading to frequent distractions. Other than this, it is also causing a menace where students are recording reels and videos in school premises, which is leading to certain disciplinary issues. Thirdly, it also leads to certain bullying by students online in school premises. It leads to spread of rumors against certain students who are more vulnerable. So for all of these reasons, I believe that schools should ban the use of smartphones within the school premises. To counter argue, I would suggest that we are living in the 21st century. People have it is the age of being connected. Parents feel the need to stay connected to their kids. So that is one. Second is that information access is enabled through the use of smartphones. Information is at the tips. Other devices like laptops are not that handy, and people from lower classes might not have access to those complicated devices. So and thirdly, it also ensures the safety of the students while they're traveling to and from schools. So for these reasons, smartphones must not be banned from school premises.
Okay, now you're a student of economics. Now, see, the farmers are sitting on the border of Delhi demanding legalizing MSP. You tell me, what are the reasons why it is not a good idea to legalize MSP? What will be the implication if we do that?
Yes, sir. So legalization of MSP will have huge fiscal implications. So our budget is about 47 lakh crores. MSP legalization would cost about 10 to 12 lakh crores depending on the quantity that the government procures. So for that reason, and secondly, it might not be sold in the open market, whatever government procures, if the private sector does not see enough benefit to that. Now that is going to be problematic as it will affect the efficiency of the market. So it will be counterproductive. Thirdly, I believe that it will affect the agri ecosystem of the country. It will lead to adverse cropping systems, just how we already have in terms of people harvesting more wheat and rice or only the 23 MSP crops. Fourthly, I would argue in terms of giving evidence as to how crops like horticulture crops and livestock, which does not enjoy MSP, has been growing at thrice the rate in the last few years as opposed to the MSP procured cereals. So I think for these reasons, MSP should not be legalized.
Okay, see, suppose you are elected and a young IAS officer in a state government, and the state government employees are demanding reverting back to old pension scheme. You see, now old pension scheme and new pension scheme. They are already in new pension scheme. Now you have been given the task by the government, your seniors, to go and negotiate with the staff association and convince them to drop their demand. How you will convince them?
Sir, in order to convince the members of the government, I will explain to them how the new pension scheme actually invests in the market, and in that scenario, they in fact have a chance to benefit from from the growth of Indian economy, which it is bound to happen from the growth of Indian markets. Indian markets are hugely untapped. There are only 2% retail investors right now, which is bound to grow at some point. So they're supposed to benefit from it. Other than that, I will tell them that it is fiscally impossible for us to revert back to old pension scheme, as most of our benefits will be given to certain section of the employees while not giving those social security benefits that we can give to the weaker sections of the society.
Okay, few last small questions. What is our tax to GDP ratio?
So tax to GDP ratio for the central government is about 11%. If we add state government taxes as well, it's about 16%.
And what is the tax base?
So it's very narrow. I might not be too.
How narrow? How much narrow? This will be.
The income tax base is so I'm not able to recall as of now. A few lakhs, but
Few lakhs. Percentage of total population paying taxes, direct taxes.
yes, sir. Should be around 2 to 3%, but I'm not able to get to.
So somewhere near, is it almost less than 2%, somewhere near the 2% mark. We are talking of Viksit Bharat. What will be the per capita income when we become the Viksit Bharat as per the present standards?
So presently it's about $2,100,
And when we
it has to be about $21,000.
21,000. As a present yardstick, they have the.
21. World Bank yardstick.
Yes, what is the figure?
So it's either 21,000 or 25,000.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Saloni. Now everybody is interested in your dog walking. The more I see of men, the more I love dogs. Who said it?
Sir, I'm not sure who said it.
Okay, you must read about it because it relates to your hobby. What was the motto of your school?
No, so it was be honest, be brave.
Be honest,
Be
be brave. Good. And you studied in Bluebells.
Yes.
What does Jingle Bells remind you?
So it reminds me of Christmas.
And
In general, it just makes me remind of a festive mode. So
okay, and a song?
Jingle bells, yes, sir, the same song.
Okay. You remember who's many people who've sung it, but anybody favorite?
No, sir.
Okay. I like the version of Jim Reeves.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Who's your favorite social thinker?
So my favorite social thinker would be M.N. Srinivas ji. I think he is one person who actually initiated village studies in India in some context. He tried to indigenize the sociology of the West in true sense of the term, and he observed various changes that were happening in the book view that was taken before him. He introduced concepts like Sanskritization, etc. So I think it was a new era that he heralded, so for that reason.
Okay, good. I take you back somewhere in Rome.
Okay.
Now tell me.
A Roman social think.
Rome, Greek, that region, you know?
Greeks, yes, Aristotle, Plato,
Okay.
all of these social thinkers
Okay.
these are thinkers that I've followed.
Okay.
And Aristotle in particular is
Okay.
someone who's spoken at length about modern democracies,
Mm-hmm.
and he has had some disdain for how we tend to elect our people. But I think very great intellectual with that.
Okay. Why was Socrates given the cup of poison?
Yes, sir. So Socrates was given the cup of poison just because he chose to speak truth to power. He had a chance to escape from the prison, but he refused to do so. He said, "My foremost responsibility is to my discipline, is to my thoughts, and second responsibility is to my state. And now that I've justified my responsibility to my opinions and my mind, now it's my time to justify my responsibility to my
Very good. Now, I'll give you a minute to speak on a topic. You're a debater, I see. Ethical dilemmas reveal our true selves.
Right.
For or against?
Sir, I will speak in favor of the motion. I think ethical dilemmas truly do reveal our true selves. These are the times when we are in a situation of crisis. Ethical dilemma definitionally means that both the situations that we're confronting and any option that we go for will lead to a compromise of one or the other value that is at the end of the day desirable. But at the end of the day, it reveals how and to what extent we value what we value. If we value integrity over anything else, it will be revealed in a situation of ethical dilemma. If we value a value of compassion over procedural integrity, that would be revealed in a situation of ethical dilemma. So it is in fact true that our true selves come out when we have to make decisions when two values are being held at stake.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That'll be all next.
Bonjour Saloni, comment ça va?
Sava Bia, sir.
Tell me some unique features of French language.
So one is that French grammar is somewhat complicated. There is a difficult subject-verb agreement like we have in Hindi, but we don't have as such in English. So that's there. Other than that, there are a lot of accents that are used while writing French. There are different connotations that different accents give to the word.
You have missed out the most unique feature of the French language.
So if you could please guide me towards it.
The article and adjectives change on gender,
Yes, sir.
not the noun.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. What is the rule of 72 in economics?
Rule of 72. Sir, I don't think I know about
If you invest some money, X money, how many years will it take
Yes, sir. To
To
double,
double.
compounding yes, sir. 7.2. I
So if
think.
it is 10% growth annual, then it will take 7.2 years.
Yes.
All right. What is a K-shaped recovery?
So, K-shaped recovery is a situation wherein certain sectors of the economy recover very well after a depressive episode. However, certain section of the economy start doing worse than they already were.
So after COVID, did the Indian economy grow in a V shape or a K shape?
So, I think there was a K-shaped recovery definitely.
Which sectors did not do well after COVID?
So one is the rural sector. So I was reading a recent article that the rural wages have actually declined in the last few years, and so that could be one sector that has not yet recovered from the impacts of COVID. Other than that, sectors that the informal economy in general has not been able to get back to track post COVID. So these are two of the sectors that.
Tell me about 3 sociological features of your state, Haryana.
So one is the predominance of caste. We see the dominant caste narrative, which was also given by M.H. Srinivasji. So we see that. Second is patriarchy. We see an entrenched patriarchy in terms of which reflects in our sex ratio, although that's improving. It's up to 929 as per latest NFHS. So that's there. The third one, in my opinion, would be the predominance of religion in public sphere. Haryana in general is a place where people are religious.
All right. All 3 are almost negative. Give me 3 positive sociological features of Haryana.
Right. So although as far as religion is concerned, I do think that it's a positive. It is a positive,
All
sir,
right.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Other than that, as far as positive features of Haryana, sociological features of Haryana, there is a sociological cohesion that can be seen. Although it is largely on caste line or regional lines, but there is a high degree of social cohesion within Haryana. Second, I would say, would be in terms of sociology.
You are not hinting at what I really like about Haryana. Almost half of our women athletes are from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
Gender improvement. Yes. All right. In foreign service, you have given IFS as a third choice. Everyone is asked to choose, is given a language to learn, foreign language. If you are given a choice to choose a language, which language would you choose and why?
So probably Mandarin. I think that China is going to be a very important player in the future, and it being our immediate neighbor. I would be interested in knowing more about the language and playing a role in negotiating relationships between India and China. So.
All right. If I ask you, after so much we have discussed, if I ask you, why do you want to join civil service? Give me a good reason, not the run-of-the-mill kind of thing.
Sir, I think the true reason why I began wanting to join civil services is that my father always wanted to enter the army. He was an NCC cadet.
I saw you took the exam, combined defense exam.
I didn't write the exam. It was
didn't.
15 days before the
right.
means. So unfortunately I didn't. But my father always wanted to enter the army. He used to speak very fondly of government officials. And for that reason, somehow as a very young child,
This is not a good answer.
Sir,
okay, all right.
That is how
another one.
So that is how my fondness began. But
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, it is one of the few jobs that balances a good career with job satisfaction.
All right, I'll give you the answer in my feedback. Please.
Okay.
Thanks.
You are a keen debater.
Yes.
Before that, incidentally, dog breeding, you said breeding dogs at home. Are you allowed to breed dogs at home?
No, sir.
You mentioned it, that's why I'm asking.
So people do it, but
It's illegal,
yes, sir, it's not allowed.
right?
It's not allowed.
Anyway, so before you mention it in that flow of your whatever point you're making, be careful about what you talk. Anyway, there was recently some news about a public execution in Afghanistan. Typical blood for blood, eye for eye, tooth for tooth thing. 2 people were shot dead by the victim's family. All right? I'm asking you to take half a minute and speak in favor of the public execution, much as it would revolt your stomach and all that.
Okay, sir. I'll take a moment.
Do that.
Sir, if I may clarify, this was a situation where,
In Afghanistan, naturally.
and this was done by?
The Afghanistan government sanctioned it. It was a public execution. The UN has come down heavily on it, etc., etc. The usual noises, but it's a sovereign country, so there you are.
To favor the public execution, I would say that at the end of the day, countries that have strict laws are able to have the best deterrence. We've seen the situation in countries like the United Arab Emirates or Dubai, where there is very low rate of crime. We've seen that in countries that are now developed like Singapore. So if we have to eventually create a civilized society, it goes through bloodshed. A lot of Scandinavian countries went through a lot of bloodshed to reach the level of civilization that they are at right now. So I think in the larger scheme of things, if one has to ensure deterrence and larger respect for the law of the land, then such measures can be undertaken.
All right, excellent. Except that I would like you to add that this is a society in the making. It's work in progress. So at some stage, they will probably do a far better crime control without having to resort to this. All right. Are you aware that in Pakistan, this blood money concept is still there? What exactly is it?
Sir, I'm not
Some
aware.
of their ministers are also people who have paid blood money, and 5 murders, I think.
Well, that American also was released through
There
that
you
money.
are, blood money.
Yeah.
What is
Sir,
that
I'm not
concept?
aware of the concept.
All right. UCC implemented in Uttarakhand. Over the previous several years, LGBTQ, so Supreme Court is very liberal. Adultery, it's not a crime anymore, etc. So society is going towards something. Why suddenly in live-in relationships, the system, the ecosystem is clamping down and saying, no, 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 you should register this, you should. I mean, it's as if the fun is going out of live-ins.
Sir, I think it's extremely unfortunate, and therefore I think that although a progressive step, it's still an incomplete step. And more so, in my opinion, what should be done is that live-in partners should be given the choice to register with the government in case they're looking for certain legal protection. But it must not be made mandatory, and more so, it should not be made a crime to not register against.
What is the logic of making it? Please, there is a logic to it. That's why I asked the question.
So I think it's to provide legal protection, particularly to women,
Exactly.
against their live-in partners.
In the light of a couple of crimes which have been committed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is, so you are missing that point. Eventually came to it. All right, I am by and large through. Just give one more spin to this. In the UCC, unfortunately being twisted around as if it's meant to target a certain community, a minority community. Which other communities, non-Muslim communities, would it benefit? And in what manner?
So one is that it would benefit Parsi community as well. Parsi women who marry outside their
Right.
religion are not
And?
allowed. So other than that, it would, sir, polygamy is also practiced in Hinduism and Christians. If we look at NFHS data, it's in
Right.
So
Polygamy it will address.
polygamy, so Hindus and Christians in that regard. Other than that, sir, I see that Hindu undivided family, the
Laws of inheritance.
laws of inheritance will
That
become
would be-
clearer if you.
Excellent. Study a bit more. Polygamy, polyandry. Polyandry is intended to be addressed. Okay. How do you think you have fared and why?
So I think it was quite decent. I couldn't answer a few questions. So other than that,
Not relevant at all what you couldn't answer. Now let me address the real problem. Somebody has obviously told you to keep your hands clamped.
Sir, this is my first mock, so I think
All
it's
right,
really-
nobody has told you. Excellent. We are on as we say, green
I'm
field.
surprised. It's your first mock.
yes, sir. I'm just beginning, so,
So,
it's,
which is also bringing me to address the issues as I see them. You're not supposed to keep them like this.
okay.
You right at the when I said that the interview is over, then you started gesticulating a bit. You're such a good debater. You're supposed to use your hands to express as you would be doing
Yes.
in a real debate, don't you?
Yes, sir.
So what's stopping you?
Uh,
Okay, let me put it this way. Your eyes, your face, your smile, your head, everything and your words, they are all moving in a certain way. Why not your hands?
yes, sir.
Everything has to be in sync. So keep your hands comfortably as you work, but please use it to gesticulate. You will be able to emphasize your points better. Secondly, you're still in the student debater mode,
Okay, sir.
where what is that interruption round? The moment you interrupt, somebody presses a bell and then you take over. Just a minute.
Yes.
You're still in that mode. Please understand, this is a place where within 15 seconds, you're not supposed to give a barrage of words. You're supposed to give your replies crisply with the best part of your answer coming out right in the beginning. Ordinarily, how you do in a debate with 5 minutes, you start with the premise and introduction, this, that, and then you come to the best part of your points towards second or third minute. Here you have 15-20 seconds. My advice, considered advice, is that you don't start immediately after the question's over, right? Pause, think about the question, its essence, though you are able to catch that meaning very well, and frame the answer mentally so that the best part is given right in the beginning, 10-15 seconds, in relaxed manner. There's no hurry.
Okay, sir.
It will actually, if you practice it a bit, you'll find that you are able to give far better, crisp and pointed replies, which are extremely expressive,
Okay, sir.
right? So even if you have to, for example, give 1, 2, 3 points, think for a second which is the best part. Give that first. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And by the way, that public execution thing, you have aced it.
I'm quite surprised that this is your first interview. You have come out as a very competitive candidate. When is your interview?
So 21st of March.
21st of March. Good. So, I mean, whatever the chairman has said, obviously they are very, very important and that will enhance your performance. But other than that, I would only say that you have to note each key word written in your DAF and see what kind of general questions can come. The questions that I asked you about French language is a very simple, common kind of question. And it is very profound because there is a very significant change in the grammar of French language. Just keep working on the keywords of your DAF and try and link them with current affairs, whatever is happening around you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
See, this just before you take over. You see, you are at that point of being a very good candidate, an excellent candidate, but we would like you to really excel. So don't mind if you are spending a little
Yes.
time and being a little more critical than we ordinarily do. Please, sir.
You are come as a very enthusiastic person, full of energy. Keep that thing. But you speak very fast.
Okay, sir.
Try to be bring little calmness. Now, otherwise, we tell the people to bring energy to the table. Now we have to give the first advice to bring little calmness on the table.
You're intimidating the rest of
But I
us.
like the passion in
Yeah.
her. In her
Yeah, that is good.
That passion is very good.
Enthusiasm, energy, keep it up. Keep it. Don't try to taper it. Little calmness and little, and give a moment to think that whatever you said. You just immediately you jump to reply. However, your answers were good.
Yes, sir.
Nothing wrong in the answer, but you could have given little better answer and little crisp answers. That is the only advice.
See, typically you said doing good dog breeding at home. That would not have escaped if you had weighed your words carefully before speaking. Okay, in enthusiasm you can come out with it, but don't give a chance for someone to trap you. Please, sir.
Otherwise, very good candidate, keep it up. Just no need to change much of your, okay?
Just slow down. Yeah.
I would also say overall very good personality, and obviously your background, extracurricular activities at college, and all give you confidence in speaking. Because you have to adapt it, as Chairman said, to a situation where you have very senior, distinguished people who can see through you, X-ray vision, right? So speak in a certain way that there is substance. When I did see, I did engage you a lot on the dog aspect, because that is a kind of trap you have set for the others. The way I said, if you didn't put just dogs or canine something, but you put dog care and dog walking. So it limits to at home what you do with your dogs. But then sometimes it can be very shallow also. It can actually suggest to me that you're a very shallow person. All you do is at home with your dogs, right? But try to build a little buffer around that. As we said, there are indigenous breeds, right? And then you have this stray dog court judgments are there, right?
Yes.
On feedings. I think they have allowed feeding of
Yes.
stray dogs. So that is that the dog care business is a huge burgeoning industry. In mythology also, the Pandavas' last journey, right? Who was with Yudhishthira till the end? The last, the dog, no, Dharma,
Okay.
right?
His father actually.
Yeah. So yeah. So these are the interesting tidbit to add a little flesh. So if you're, it's not that you're trapping us, but the reverse, that you may be trapped into this conversation and then found out to be very shallow. So build a little flesh around that your knowledge and all that, right? Otherwise, keep it up.
I have one more comment to make. if you
Please,
allow
please,
me.
please. We are.
This is only because this is your first mock.
Yes.
You see, the panel, you have come here for a personality test. It is not the test of your knowledge. Here it didn't happen, but suppose in a real interview you are not able to answer 3, 4, or 5 questions in a row. That does not mean that interview is not good.
Yes.
All right? Each question is being put to you to find out certain aspect of your personality. If you are flustered because of not answering some questions, that means you are unable to take pressure.
Yeah.
You cannot work in crisis. All right? And the second thing is, when you came in, you can be tested there as well. You seemed in a hurry to take your chair.
Okay.
So wait after greeting, wait for the chairperson to say, take your seat or please sit down or something. All right? That's all I have.
I would only say that, what Mr. Chairman and my colleagues have added, you show very good energy, a very pronounced competitive spirit. Just temper it with a little bit of maturity. There's certain officer-like qualities.
Yes, sir.
They should come out.
It's your first mock. You have time. Just practice on letting a 78 RPM record play on 45.
Composure. Yes, sir. Will do.
And always aim for giving a 15-second reply with not so much of words as ideas. Okay? And then you have aced it. There are quite a few of them which I really like. There's Afghanistan, for example, the chair will ask you about Afghanistan. There's something totally opposite to what you think.
Right, sir.
So be prepared for it. You are a debater, you have said so. So you can expect more of such controversial questions.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if they said, okay, justify halala. All sorts of controversial things. So be prepared for it. Okay?
Yes.
All the best. Carry on.
Add that to your school motto, be prepared.
Yes.
Carry on. All the best.
Thank you.
Good luck.